Hello, friends. Welcome to Much Review About Nothing. Isn't it ironic that both assassins in Hollywood are obsessed with making hits? On this podcast, we review a movie we haven't seen through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Jake Greer and...
Greer. Luke Greer.
Let's don't watch a movie. Wrong kind of agent.
I know, but they both have numbers, and they're both agents.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was the other joke I came up with.
In introspection inspection, I have nothing.
I don't really either.
So I think we'll just go on to the trailer.
All right. Today we are not watching Hitman, Agent 47.
Such a good movie.
And I was thinking this could easily turn into another episode of Billy Rants because, you know, I really love the game series.
I might join you on the ranting bit, you know.
The thing is, it's not going to go that direction because with Billy Rants, there's a degree of like disappointment where like I thought the product they were making could have turned out good, but with this, I had no hope from the beginning. Ever since I saw the first trailer, like what was this, 2 years ago?
It was
4 years ago?
2015.
4 years ago. Holy
yeah.
God. Ever since I saw the trailer 4 years ago, I was like, no, it's going to be complete garbage.
Well, I mean, I also wanted to do the 2007 one, but you had already seen that one.
Which was also
really
garbage.
bad. That's why I wanted to do it. You know, if we could get both on there, it would have been a win, but you know.
All right, well, without any further ado, let's watch the trailer.
Okay.
He's kind of a horrible assassin.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into that, but I want to talk about the first con. He's not bald, he's shaved.
Yeah, I know.
He's a buzzcut.
That is I'm sorry, I have to disagree with that on a fundamental level. He needs to be bald, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I knew, besides the rest of the trailer, which is terrible, but that's how I knew right away this movie was going to be awful, is they couldn't even commit to the most basic thing about Hitman. I mean, Timothy Olyphant in the first movie was willing to shave his head. At least that movie, it's kind of better, technically, but...
Yeah.
I
didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's not good, but it is better, and at least he shaved his head, but from the starting point... It was completely handled wrong.
I mean, as Luke was pointing out, he blows his cover every single time for a very intelligent and superhuman human.
Well, I take that back. I think that the Hitman Agent 47, this movie is how most players play the games. They just walk in there, wear a silly outfit, and throw something at the nearest guy. They run away.
Yeah, because in case you don't know, Hitman is a stealth game. The idea is to get in there as quickly and quietly as you can and take out your target with as little collateral damage as possible.
You even get penalized for using guns.
Yeah.
Well, to get the highest rank, you can use guns. You just want your silent assassin. All you want to do is kill the one guy, and that's pretty much it. You can knock out. You usually have a way to knock out other people.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you don't want to kill them. But yeah, as you were saying, technically... On one hand, this movie is very untrue to the source material, but from the standpoint of no one's patient enough to play the game stealthily, and they end up running through, gunning down hundreds of guards. It is kind of.
It is kind of true in that regard.
Yeah.
So it's what's a good way to phrase it? That.
It's true to how players...
Yes, it's true to the player.
Yeah.
When they wrote the movie, they were playing the game. They didn't understand it was a stealth game. They're like, he has a cool dual pistol. They're ready to just shoot everyone,
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I get from this is... Like, they want to make an action movie.
Yes.
Obviously. Just fight scenes, explosions, your typical... action movie.
Yeah.
But the problem is Hitman is not conducive to that because it's a very slow-paced game where you probably only kill a couple of people unless you're terrible at the game.
It'd be a really good thriller.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what I've always thought.
Psychological.
Hitman needs to be... It's a heist movie, whereas opposed to robbing the bank and getting out, it's killing the bank manager and getting out.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, it needs to be a heist movie where he goes and he plans, and you can kind of see his thought process and, you know, how they do it in all
He
heist
could have, like,
movies.
numbers and stuff pop around him all magically, like, he, like, point it out and swipe.
Yeah. Would it be like Sherlock Holmes?
People like
BBC?
that.
Well, it doesn't have to be that in depth, but it just has to be kind of a heist movie. And, you know, Hitman fans would, how many there are, I don't know how many there are, would eat it up. I mean,
there's apparently a lot because they keep making games, and the recent one, they keep doing, like, chapter sets for it.
Yeah.
And people keep buying it, so, I mean, it seems to be
you
pretty
keep
popular.
buying it. You're the sole reason Hitman.
No, I mean, like,
That's around.
YouTubers are always playing it and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're the ones that keep it operational.
But I think you're right. The heist format is the best for this. But I was also kind of thinking, maybe Hitman just isn't geared for movies because it's a silent man, you know, just carrying out his job.
yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking about, is that you can't really have a typical hero in that case.
No, because he doesn't have anyone to talk to or bounce stuff off of.
He's more of a force of nature.
Yeah.
And we say this, like, I've talked about this in the same way how Mario, you know, we're getting the animated movie. How are they going to make Mario work? Because he's also a silent protagonist. How do you make silent protagonists in games work in movies? And they kind of have to be, like, they're a force of nature, but never the main, entirely the main focus, I guess is the best way to put it.
Which is why we got that one rando guy and the chick.
Do you think it could work if we're looking through the eyes of somebody who's independent, they found out about Hitman, and they're trying to catch him themselves or hunt him down, and so you kind of see Hitman through the eyes of somebody else?
That's what I was kind of thinking.
A second-person movie?
Yeah. Well, no, it'd be just like, it wouldn't be second person, because second person implies that the person watching is the main character.
Oh, what I meant was, you know...
From the perspective of another character.
All you see is an arm,
Yeah.
and you're Hitman. You know?
It'd be like Hardcore Henry, which is a first-person movie. It's pretty cool. It's an action flick.
Yeah, I wonder why there isn't more first-person movies.
Because there's not a lot of... Because you're stuck to that guy. You can't have, like, different shots and different perspectives.
I guess so, but it's interesting on itself.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it's limiting, and it can be a little disorienting, like when the guy's moving around fast and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking kind of, if not heist, maybe heist mixed with a horror movie, because the Hitman is like Jason or, you know, Mike Myers. He's a silent monster that just takes people out, you know, and I feel like it could work in that.
He comes
regard.
up in like a chicken outfit. He strangles a guy.
That's the thing. It needs to be like really dark and brooding, but also have like a slight goofy sense of humor, because Hitman does.
Yeah,
like he could dress as a clown or like some flamingo mascot I remember seeing lately.
Yeah, there's humor in it because, you know, it's made for the gamer, and, you know, we like our memes and we like our jokes, you know, that kind of thing.
Let's go back to Hitman himself. I feel like totally miscast.
Yeah, Rupert Friend, and I actually just now before we recorded realized his name was Rupert Friend.
Yeah. So that you were picking out reviews thinking that like people were just mentioning Friend or something.
Well, just like Rupert Friend, you know, we've had that sometimes where they like say, you know, friend, hello friend, stuff that we kind of took for ourselves, and I thought they were just like, Rupert Friend, you know, I love you and stuff like that. I didn't realize that.
It's actually his name.
Yeah.
That was like broken English referring to a friend.
Yeah.
He looks, like I said when we were watching the trailer, he looks like a 12-year-old.
He's an angsty 12-year-old.
He looks like a little kid.
There's definitely something off about him. I don't know why.
He's really little.
Well, Hitman's supposed to be like tall, have a fuller face and a broader nose and all that.
Hitman is like 6 feet tall. He's imposing. This guy looks like your 12-year-old cousin's like coming after you and just gonna swat him away.
And some people,
always edgy.
I'm sorry, don't look good bald, I guess is a good way to put it. Like,
yeah, his head's real pointy.
Some people have a good head for baldness, you know, like our father.
Yeah.
You know, and other people not so much, I would say.
Yeah, until he didn't commit, so he's got, like, he has a little kid's haircut, a shaved head.
Yeah, that's the problem. It really comes down to the shaved head. I think he'd be passable at a best.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think he's passable, because, like I said, he's not imposing. You know, you want to give him a spanking. You don't want to, put him in jail.
No, young man, don't shoot those people.
Yeah. Naughty, bad. So cons, maybe Rupert Friend is just really young. Maybe they did cast like a teenager.
Well, it's a child hitman, you know?
Yeah, maybe they were trying to appeal to the youth.
What is it, a direct-to-TV or movie, a Disney movie, where they just de-aged the cast again? Like, there's like that whole phase of the early 2000s where it's Tarzan as a kid again. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
So is Disney behind this as well as Hitman as a kid?
Or maybe they're ripping off that whole mindset, because I was wondering if maybe this was an attempt to appeal to the YA crowd.
Yeah,
you know,
the younger
young hitman,
younger audience.
Yeah.
You know.
So cons, they cast a small child.
Yes, they cast a child.
A child. No.
Oh yeah, so we're in dynamic discussions.
Oh, we forgot again.
I mean, the joke here. We can't ever remember to say
I thought we
it.
said we were in dynamic discussion.
Did we?
Yeah.
I think we did, though.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember us explicitly saying it.
Oh.
We didn't. We just started.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. I think people know by now.
Pretty much. But so, kind of going back to the trailer for material, he deliberately gets himself captured to kill a guy, basically.
Yeah.
And while he's captured, rather than just immediately kill him, basically, like, he starts revealing information about himself.
Yeah, he literally says, "I'm 47."
Yeah, I'm Agent 47. I'm here to kill you.
Yeah.
I'm high. You know, I'm genetically modified. I mean, he basically just gives his life story before he kills them. I mean,
know.
unless he destroys the recording, those things are recorded.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like, well, we know who he is. So.
I guess that's why all those agents were after him at that point.
Yeah,
like,
he totally just.
You know, he killed the guy. He killed a couple of guys. He didn't destroy the recording. He just walked out. And
Yeah.
so they just said, SWAT on him, I guess.
In the trailer, did the guy who played Andy from The Office, was he in it?
No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
that was Zachary Quinto who played Spock.
Oh, I see.
Spoiler alert: he's the real bad guy. He's also an agent, I think.
Oh.
But he's not bald.
But you don't have
Neither
to,
is Hitman.
You
So
don't,
what do
you
you
don't
Wait,
technically
he's
have
only-
to be bald.
He's only 1 degree of separation away from baldness.
Yeah.
You don't have to be bald to be an agent or modified human. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Then why didn't Hitman, try to cut off his barcode instead of grow out his hair?
What do you
Like in
mean?
that one game, where he's tired of being Hitman, so he tries to cut his barcode, and he has that Band-Aid on the back of his head most of the game.
Yeah.
If he could grow hair, then why don't you just grow his hair instead of doing that?
He may not be able to grow hair, Luke. I don't know why we're
Then
talking
why does he have a
about
buzz cut?
Because it's a bad movie. That's
Because it's
why.
a bad movie. It's not like you're taking the game and the movie and you're combining
Why
them.
does Andy Spock have hair then? Why isn't he bald? Is he wearing a
see,
wig?
I'm thinking maybe in the logic of the movie, they slowly improved their clones. He got it all worked out. They were excellent marksmen, cold, ruthless killers, but he could not get the hair.
You gotta have gray hair
they
to be an
steadily-
agent.
They steadily got better and better at the hair, and then Agent 47 is technically in between the bald ones and the full hair. And I mean, maybe that's the actual plot. Maybe Hitman 47 is on a quest to get a
He
full
wants
head of
to fight
hair.
his creators like he give him hair.
Yeah.
Or,
You left me unfinished.
or the opposite is true. He wants to be fully bald. So he's in a perpetual state. He can neither be bald nor have hair. Whenever he shaves it, it just grows
comes back
back.
out little
And it never grows further than a little buzz cut.
Yeah, I mean, this
This is
could
just
be either way. Or maybe he's on a quest to shave the other Hitman. He's like, if I can't
fully have hair.
then neither can you. So I'd say this is a pro. It's a very unique plot about hair-based, revenge or a hair-based quest.
You don't see that in a lot of movies.
No, I mean, arguably only Bobo has a hair-based plot.
Revenge. The very
This
few
quest
that
slash-
know that anime, you get a cookie.
Yeah.
A cookie filled with nose hair.
Oh yeah, and I'm sorry. The main thing I wanted to talk about that trailer was that idiotic. I mean, you were talking about the scene where he's in the interrogation chamber, but they have his. First of all, they have his sniper rifle on the table.
And they load it for him.
Yeah, and they load it. You would never bring a gun into an interrogation chamber.
Was it his gun or whose gun was it? Because it looked like he was holding him at gunpoint? Question mark? I don't understand.
The guy interrogating him had his gun and was pointing it at Hitman.
And it's loaded
And it's loaded. But then Hitman's brilliant plan is I'll kick the table and my gun will go off and I'll use that to shoot my shackles and get free.
Listen, people, guns don't do that in real
No,
life.
that's what I was going to say.
They're specifically designed so that they don't discharge when they hit a rough surface, because if they were like that, then war would be a much more hellish place. Because if like hit the ground and shoot your own ally, you know.
So Khan, unrealistic gun. And
Yes,
I think Khan. Why did he let himself get captured? He couldn't think of anything else to get this guy?
Well, I can't remember. There was a period of Hollywood where the main villain or hero intentionally getting captured was like the coolest thing ever. You think Joker, Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness, the bad guy from
Loki.
Loki, the bad guy from Skyfall, James Bond. And I just wonder if this was, they was like, yeah, it wouldn't be cool if he gets captured, but he breaks out anyways. But you can't, like Luke said, you can't kick a table and make a gun go off. You can't drop a gun. Hollywood, I guess, because writers in Hollywood, they probably haven't even seen a real gun in their entire lives. So they have no clue how they actually work. But this happens a lot in movies where they drop the gun, it just goes off. Like it actually, in True Lies, the main character, one of the main characters, the woman, she drops an Uzi down the stairs and it starts firing as it falls, and it allows her to like ward off the bad guys coming after her. It's like that Hollywood. That's not gonna happen.
It's hilarious.
The only guns that can potentially discharge when you drop them would be flintlocks and wheelhocks.
Yeah, that gun would have to be rusted, practically destroyed. Like there's like a pin inside that would have to be just completely.
Yeah.
Eaten through for that to happen. But this is a public service announcement. If you drop a gun, unless it's badly, horribly damaged, it's not going to go off like that.
So if you see a gun, just throw it on the ground as hard as you can.
Yes. That's
Prove our point.
Yeah. Just say, kids, at home, if you're at home, find your parents' gun and test this for yourself.
It's educational.
It's a fun little experiment.
And just so everybody knows, Much Review About Nothing is not
responsible
for any gun injuries, gun-related deaths or injuries.
We will take pride in them, but we're not responsible.
Exactly.
Maybe that's how Hitman can kill someone. You're like, here, kid, throw this gun on the ground.
Yeah, well, he could just throw a gun down in front of his target and probably kill him.
I don't know, officer. The gun fell out of a holster somewhere and shot him in the head.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Hitman was just walking down the street, going to the location of his target. I'm Agent 47. Hi, I'm Agent 47. I'm an assassin.
I'm here to kill you.
Yeah.
I'm here to kill that person over there. He walks in. I'm Agent 47.
Well, what they say, if you want to avoid attention, cause like a ruckus. Be as loud and as noticeable as possible, and then people will want to ignore you.
Yeah, that's true.
So if he's going around telling everybody he's a murderer and an assassin, and everyone's like, that guy's he's such a kid.
It's like that like the start of that Elder Scrolls Oblivion quest where you can go up to that lady and say, I'm an assassin here to kill you all.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll actually get like relationship points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
it's in the murder house.
Yeah, the murder house.
Where you're the murderer. For the
that is probably my favorite mission in
everyone's
video game
favorite
ever.
mission.
Yeah, it's really great. And we're talking about a video game movie, so
yeah. Hey, we're talking about video game.
An Elder Scrolls movie.
No, we don't.
No, please no.
Why? Todd, he blesses everything he touches.
Oh yeah, like Fallout 76. Yeah.
Yes,
Apparently he's full of bugs and glitches.
Todd giveth and he taketh away.
Yeah. Todd taketh away. Period.
Can you imagine Todd Howard get out there and going, our movie that we're making about Oblivion has 200 endings.
Yeah.
It's like an 8-hour-long movie with just a bunch of different endings.
Yeah. But it would just end up like the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah.
Which was
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh,
why did they use
that? Was when there were still movie rental stores. I got that from like a Hollywood Video, and we couldn't watch the last 2 seconds because it was scratched, and we just wanted to see the ending. So we were trying the peanut butter trick and stuff over this stupid movie.
Why?
And technically we had seen the end, but we didn't know how long it went, so we thought we had missed part of it, and we wasted all this time trying to fix it with Windex and stuff. But
why'd they use the Dragonlance setting?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Let's not get into that. We got enough bad video game movies to talk about.
Yeah, we got to get back to Hitman Agent 47. Did you
Yeah.
have any articles or?
I do,
interesting
because that's kind of a good segue what we were talking about. The whole, and we haven't really talked about it before, even though we have talked about video game movies before, but we never really discussed in depth the video game movie curse.
Yeah.
I think Detective Pikachu's broken that.
Well, it's funny you say that because the article I got, that's kind of their contention. It's basically just saying that Detective Pikachu seems to have kind of bucked the video game curse. I don't know. Technically, Detective Pikachu is a video game movie, but at the same time, I don't know. I have trouble kind of giving it that like trophy because Pokemon is such a cultural international icon that it's almost transcended its status as a video game.
Yeah, but like, it's not really so much a curse. I mean, we say it's a curse because every video game movie is either a flop or incredibly mediocre. That it's just not worth talking about.
I mean, it kind of is a curse, to be fair. I mean, like, obviously, it's not witchcraft, but...
Well, no, what
was your point?
It's this black magic
what
out
I'm
there.
saying is that because you have Nintendo behind Detective Pikachu, as long as somebody puts enough care and effort and intelligence into something, it should be good.
Yeah.
You know, it should be good. It's just these... Like, a lot of times video game movies are just, like, they're handed to any studio, basically. Like, it's not like anybody explicitly wants to do these movies, I don't think. It's more like, this is big, I need somebody who can make this, producer, smoking a cigar is like, I need somebody who can make me a Hitman movie. That's going to be big, kind of thing.
Now give me pictures of Spider-Man!
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I just feel like a Pokemon movie is like if you made a Hello Kitty movie and it was successful. I mean, yeah, because Hello Kitty is a huge icon that people are going to go see anyways.
Yeah, and two, I think the title of first video game music to break the trend is wrong. I think that title goes to the Prince of Persia movie.
Prince of Persia. That's not a horrible movie, to be honest. It's kind of a it's kind of a diet like Pirates of the Caribbean in Arabia or whatever. But it's not horrible.
Average,
it's not great, but...
like I said, it falls in the mediocre category.
Yeah,
it's like the recent Tomb Raider and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're just kind of mediocre. They don't really excel. It's kind of like we were talking about before. It's like Justice League. Well, Justice League I think was terrible, but like...
No, it's terrible.
Forgettable, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, to me it's worse than like Batman v Superman because... I get more of an emotional experience watching Batman v Superman because it's got such weird decisions, so it's more engaging.
Yeah, you never want to be forgettable, I guess, is the big thing. A lot of
Justice
times
League is forgettable.
Wait. Hang on a second.
Yes.
We talked about Batman vs. Superman. Lex Luthor looks like a child. He gets his head shaved. Is he Hitman?
Yeah, I think he might be one of them.
He could be.
Yeah. He's one of the early clones that got completely shaved. But
they kind of shaved him.
Yeah. In my opinion, this may be controversial. The first movie I think that officially broke the video game curse was the Angry Birds movie.
Oh yeah, we kind of talked about that a little, and that's actually a pretty, it's a pretty good movie. Like
I mean it's corny and it has all the trappings of a kids movie, but I haven't seen a video game movie marry the mechanics of the game itself with a plot as effectively. Because like when they're launching themselves at the pigs, that was a fun sequence, and it mirrors the game perfectly, and it works within the plot and the narrative. I mean, it doesn't really explain why the birds can do this. I feel like that was kind of left out, but it was cool seeing that the game itself factor into this movie about a game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And this one, you could see Hitman. He crouches down on a unconscious body, and then he just teleports the clothing on. Basically, does an adjustment. That's it.
He spends like 15 minutes wandering around the map trying to figure out like his pathway of approach. Like
and then some guy's like, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here."
And
then he gets gunned down.
Well, you're not supposed to be here, and then you shuffle out.
Yeah,
you wait. It's like.
And then you hit him in the head with a piece of like a lamb.
Yeah, and you try to do a cool like execution, but then you give up and you just lure them into the toilet somehow and drown them in it. You go with the old like rat poison in the drink trick, which is the go-to strategy.
So we marked it as pro for the gamers, but it doesn't commit all the way.
He doesn't do enough stupid things.
Yeah. See, if this movie is just full of stupid things like that, it would gain some merit, I guess. Or gain some points.
We're missing the point of Hitman. It's actually a comedy.
Yeah. I think it'd be a dark comedy. And I kind of had a thought that part of the reason these movies fail is because it seems like Hollywood just tries to staple a video game onto a movie
framework.
Yeah, off of like typical screenwriting framework or a typical Hollywood 3-act structure. Whereas I think a movie like Hitman, you should see maybe 3 separate missions, and we kind of follow him through it. And the conflict and the drama is like, is he going to get caught? Is he going to pull this off? Like a heist movie. But it shouldn't have a linear plot. It should just be him taking missions and trying to survive. And maybe like in between missions, he talks with his handler, and we learn more about his personality. I don't know. To me, they need to forego just average screenwriting frameworks and try different, ways of
maybe a
storytelling.
Hitman origin story where he's with another group of Hitman clones like him, and they have to go rob a bank, and they all have different suits and they have different colored code names.
Oh, was it like Reservoir Dogs? Well, I mean, because speaking of Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, extremely unusual storytelling and narrative. Like, it's non-linear, jumps to different points. So I'm saying stuff like that.
You have to
different
be
ways of
more
storytelling.
creative with it, basically, because it is unusual source material. It's not like a book, which is very similar to a script. Because you've got your basic acts and things like that.
And I'm not saying like a Hitman movie would have to be non-linear. I'm just saying video games are structured differently. Let's change the structure of movies up to maybe fit that better. I don't know.
Yeah, and Detective Pikachu is kind of interesting because it's not really following any game or anything like that.
Well, there is a Detective Pikachu game, but I mean, I don't know if this is really...
I don't know.
That's why I'm hesitant to call this a technical video game movie, even though, yes, it is based off a video game, but... With Pokemon, you could take any kind of movie and slip Pokemon into it, and it would work fine. It's just
it probably would. Cause it's very similar to
because it's just a detective movie, but the detective happens to be a Pokemon. That's I know. That's why I'm splitting hairs here, but that's why I'm hesitant to say, oh, this did it. This is finally the video game movie.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how Sonic does. And Mario. I'm really waiting on that Mario movie.
How about Mario versus Sonic? And then Mario could be like punching Sonic. It's like Peach. He's like Peach.
Why did you say that name? Hits him with the toilet.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend's name.
I guess just one final article here. This goes along with the whole video game curse. And interestingly enough, Jay Baruchel, the guy who he voices Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon, he wants to make a Hitman movie. He's a fan of the games, and he said like they've tried to make the movies, but they're crap.
Yeah, he's correct.
Yes.
What does he look like? Would he be a good Hitman?
No, but
it'd be like if I was Hitman.
You'd be a much better Hitman.
I mean, well, compared to Mr. Friend, I mean, maybe
our friend.
I would look more mature. Let's put it that way. But I thought that Jay Baruchel had a pretty great explanation for why video game movies don't work as a whole, and he says, "This is pure conjecture on my part, but I suspect it's down to competing priorities. There's going to be people who want the movie to be as close to the game as possible, and I think there's going to be people who still need it to be a movie. I think somewhere in there lies a conflict that ultimately somehow the two sides end up canceling each other out as opposed to forming the thing and making it more than the sum of its parts." And I mean, I think that's probably the most succinct way of putting it.
Yeah, but he's saying pure conjecture, so we ignore him.
A house divided against itself cannot stand.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln said that.
And I just think video games, as we said, are so different from movies because you're controlling the main character.
That's changing with some recent video games.
Well, that's true. I mean, like a JRPG probably make a good movie because they're just movies that you occasionally,
They're movies you grind.
Yeah, movies you grind. That's true. They're movies where like you have to pay the toll to get to the next part of the movie. I'm kidding. I like RPGs.
I have to kill 50 frogs to get to the next story point.
Well, I mean, there's a ton of Japanese novel games that that could really make some good movies. I would say,
Yeah, adult movies, maybe.
Well, I mean,
let's move on.
Sure. Yeah, that's probably it for dynamic discussions for today.
We can go on to random reviews.
Alrighty.
We have our first one. It's I'm going to say their full name because they're Exiled Universe. They start out, oh my goodness. And they give it a thumbs up. Oh my goodness, I can't even begin to explain how speculate this God movie was. This was better than John Wick, Jason Bourne, and even the first Hitman movie. Now, I know people might hate this movie because it is nothing like the video game, and I can see how people can react that way, but thankfully, I have never played or even seen any gameplay for any Hitman game at all, so I guess yay for me. I don't have a favorite scene because the whole movie is insane. Every second was heart-pounding, and most of the time I yelled, whoa, because of the intense action and kills. I hate to say that this is my favorite movie because The Terminator 1984 was and will be my favorite movie, but I don't really know about the one now. All I can say is wow. There's no need to talk about the CGI and acting because all of it in the end was phenomenal. I beg you to watch this film and you will see what I mean. So a lot to unpackage there. I can see why he's exiled because it says it's better than John Wick, Jason Bourne, and even the first Hitman. I mean, you could probably debate, and I don't know if you'd be right. You could debate it's better than the first Hitman.
Yes.
You know, but you cannot debate that it's better than John Wick. And I haven't even seen Jason Bourne, but I'm sure it's a lot better than this.
Jason Bourne is good, the first one especially. John Wick is like the finest action movie of the past decade.
Yeah.
And this movie, which I'm going to spoil it now, has a 9% of Rotten Tomatoes.
No, I know. I saw it too.
There's no way on earth. It goes back to that, I want to meet these people.
Yeah. Well, Billy, it's a God movie.
I know I was going to say.
Take him to a God movie.
Logan Paul. It's secretly Logan Paul.
John Wick single-handedly turned Keanu Reeves from a joke actor to one of the most beloved actors ever. I mean, because I remember before John Wick aired, everyone hated Keanu Reeves.
Oh, no one hated him.
You know what I mean? They all spoke rather disparaging of him and all that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Everyone found him endearing, of course, like because of the Matrix and stuff.
Yeah.
But no one thought he was a great actor.
They all kind of like ragged on him.
Yeah. But after John Wick.
And then John Wick, everyone loves him.
Yeah.
So, is there pro or con that the whole movie is insane? Is it just like...
I think it's insane for the wrong reason.
Okay, well, let's back up a second. Let's take these topics one at a time.
All right.
God movie.
Yeah.
What do we think that means?
Maybe the movie to end all movies?
Yes,
It's either really good movie brings you closer to God, or is about a God.
It has
I mean, my theory here is it's a religious movie about a hitman who learns the errors of his ways. Like, he's on this revenge quest to shave everyone's heads, and he learns to accept himself. It's like the Ugly Dolls movie.
For who he is, yeah.
Wait, hang on a sec.
And he gets closer to God in the
I
process.
remember this. There is in the Hitman games, I think in the sequel, he decides to retire and he stays at a Catholic church in Sicily.
So yeah, there is a basis in the game for it being a religious film.
Yeah. Maybe at the end he goes, that's how it ends. He's like, I'm tired of being a hitman. I'm going to go live in the Sicilian church and be a groundskeeper for a while.
It's a religious movie.
Yeah, and I would say the problem with a lot of religious movies is they're just kind of milquetoast, like...
Preaching to the choir.
Kind of just slice of life stories that aren't really going to interest anyone who doesn't believe in Christianity or God or whatever to begin with. To me, this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah. It's
just a crazy action flick that has a religious message. You're going to attract more people that way. So, yeah.
Like Ben-Hur.
Not to be held down by revenge, but also enacting your revenge quick enough before you convert.
Yeah. That's the true message.
Yes. Now you better get all your revenges in first before you convert to Christianity.
Yeah. Get all that said and done first. Okay, so I think we figured out what he means by God movie.
Yes.
So, what's the second point? I forgot.
The whole movie is insane.
The whole movie is insane. So I would also say, well, I'm kind of divided here. On one hand, when talking about action movies, insane usually means... like The Raid. It's just non-stop action.
Right, and he says that because of the intense actions and kills.
Yeah.
Every second was heart pounding.
I mean, the alternative is you can't follow the movie whatsoever. It's just cut crazily. People are speaking in tongues. 12-year-old hitman is just squawking and running on the walls and doing backflips.
He got some caffeine and sugar.
Maybe And maybe also what kind of prompts this change is that there's an exorcism in the film, you know, because he's been possessed, and then he gets exorcised.
And the priest, he lives
on the ground at the church. Yeah,
he's the one who exercises them.
Yeah, so it does fit in. I see where you're going with that. It does fit into the religious aspect too.
Yeah,
and normally in those movies, like younger people are possessed by demons.
Yeah, exactly.
And he is quite young, and that would maybe that also explains why he's such a good hitman. Is that he's this young boy possessed by a demon, and the demon is like making him great at killing people.
That's the plot twist. You think it's genetic engineering, but actually it's an evil demonic creature.
What if it's both? Think about it. It's like science fiction and like supernatural fused together.
Oh, it's like Doom at that point.
Yeah,
that you have this young clone who's been possessed by a demon.
Yeah, it's like Doom, which I might add is also, I think, a Christian game as well.
It really is.
You're killing demons.
Yeah, you kill the icon. You kill the icon of sin in the second one.
Yeah. Okay, so another pro here, I guess. Religious sci-fi.
Yeah, it's kind of a blending between science fiction, religion, and
demonology,
fantasy, and like supernatural.
Sci-fi. Okay, I kind of combine that with the previous one. It's religious sci-fi, Hitman, plus Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's like a duo. It's like a comedy. It's Hitman and Exorcist. You know?
The Hitman and the Exorcist.
I think we figured that one out.
Yeah.
Next, we have two people who are divided, so they will not stand.
Yeah.
We have Trina Bindu, and they gave it a thumbs down. This is not the way how Hitman does his job. There is a hell and heaven difference. A Hitman game...
Hey, religious...
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
A Hitman game lover must not watch it. They must not watch it.
Oh, what will happen?
I don't know. But then we have Tushar, who gave it a thumbs up, only for Hitman game lovers. Who do we believe?
I don't know.
If you love this game, you must not watch it, but it's only for you. Could those be...
Well, Jake,
I don't even know if you can...
Continuing on with our religious themes here, even demons have been known to take the guises of angels. Maybe the person saying, hey, gamers, I gotta watch this, but actually it will, corrupt their souls.
Yeah, but what if this is the best movie ever for Hitman game lovers, and that...
There's a select few that are trying to keep it all for themselves.
Yeah, or trying to dissuade you from reaching happiness. But I don't know who to believe in this situation.
I don't know, it's like that whole, one of us is a liar kind of deal, like in Labyrinth.
I think we'll just keep it up. We'll let the viewer decide whether this is only for Hitman lovers or Hitman game lovers must not watch it. Ever. Period.
I'm just curious what the movie does that creates such a divide there, such parallel thoughts.
And it's not even just like one's recommendation, it's only for Hitman game lovers.
Yeah.
The other one is, you must not watch it.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if you do?
I don't know. I feel like you'll start a podcast and then you'll rant about it. The worst thing of all.
I just thought you'd lose your hair.
But we haven't even watched it.
No, I mean, you could still make a podcast about it, but it'd be a normal podcast where you watch what you're talking about. So I don't know.
Is it I'm trying to decide if it's a pro or a pro con on this one.
Yeah.
It's not consistent in its perception.
Pro con, it'll divide you basically. I think that's the best way to end that.
Look at Art Divides.
Either that or Ryan Johnson secretly directed it. I have no clue.
Could be.
Yeah. I don't know. We can move on.
I expected to have big ball, but he has a buzz cut.
And for these, I remembered why I picked them, and they're kind of...
Okay.
So, we have Big CD57. This is IMDb. It's a 7 out of 10. Not the best, but still good. So, okay, I went to see this movie, not exactly knowing what to expect from it. Never saw the first movie, didn't play the games, and it had terrible reviews. So I just finally took time to watch it. Okay. K-A-Y-E, it's capitalized. I have no idea why.
K-A-Y-E.
Time to watch it. And it was really as bad as most reviews have said it. It was not like The Bet, but was still not be worst. I have seen better action sequels this year, but I enjoyed the action, the plot. It was fun for the time to escape the real world for at least a while. Don't expect the best, but I definitely give it a chance. You might find that you Really like it. Not the summer blockbuster we had possibly hoped, but not a total bomb either. I say go see it. 8 out of 10.
Okay, wow.
So, in the IMDb thing, you can give it a star rating, of 1 out of 10. And at the top, he does 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
At the very bottom of his review, he says, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Well, that right there throws his whole review in the question. He's so dishonest.
I give it 8 out of 10.
See, I can't trust this reviewer. He's lied to me at the very start.
Very start, very end, right?
Yeah. He hit me twice, and I can't trust that.
He forgot what he did in the short time of writing that.
Maybe it took him a long time to write that.
Yeah, who knows, maybe. Because I feel like he kind of just says the same thing over and over again. It's not that great, but it's pretty good. It's not that great, but it's pretty good.
Did he do language arts in school, I wonder?
Yeah, I think he's doing the old, like, I have an essay to write, so I'm going to use as many words as possible to say something simple.
And I'll skim over this one, but it brings up is S3276169. 3 out of 10, style over substance. I'm going to go down to the last line because it doesn't say too much. My advice is you like flashy commercials for, say, exotic cars, phones, computers, watches, and other unnecessarily expensive consumables. Watch them instead. At least they are free. Unless, of course, you succumb to the advertiser's marketing ploys. 3 out of 10 from me. And he already gave his 3 out of 10. Why do they feel the need to put 3 out of 10 in their actual review?
At least he's honest.
Yeah.
But I like that he's basically just saying go watch a commercial.
You know, I think he's a corporate shill.
I mean,
well,
he's kind of an anti-shill because he's pointing out how like vapid the movie is, and it's
but he's trying to trick you. He's like, watch these advertisements.
Yeah, so he's kind of like trying to be relatable.
Yeah,
he's tricking you into.
Don't watch it, man. Just watch some advertisements. The same thing. It doesn't cost you anything, unless you buy the thing.
Yeah.
Just watch some advertisements. And his name is nothing but numbers.
Yeah.
He's a bot.
He's a bot. You know, we've had this before where the robots are taking over. Maybe they've also sold out.
Yeah. But this guy is actually lucid. You know, the bots are getting smarter, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. So this was the one that confused me because I didn't realize it was Rupert Friend. A little bit. But, I mean, it makes it less funny, but it's Navi, and they give it a thumbs up. It says, Rupert Friend, you are really super, and I can still remember your face as it seems like an eagle.
What does that mean?
He kind of does have a bird. I see what he's saying.
Oh.
If you think back to him, he kind of does have a bird like
he does
that.
look like a bird.
Face is burned into this person's mind. Every time they close their eyes to go to sleep, all they see is Rupert Friend.
It is way funny if you think he's
Rupert
saying Rupert Friend.
Yeah.
My friend it is his friend Rupert. He clearly really took to him.
Yeah. Wait, Rupert Friend.
He looks like an eagle.
I think Rupert Friend will burn into your mind and you can't unsee it. Basically.
Is that what he says? Like he can't get his face out of his...
I can still remember your face as it seems like an eagle.
No, it's a pro con. Actually, the con is that he's forever burned into your subconsciousness, but he also has the face of an eagle. There's nothing more American and patriotic than that.
Yeah, well, maybe we discovered kind of a new compliment. You know, his face is like an eagle.
All right, then we have Abhashik, and he gives it a thumb down. I think he has the best review. Give him a minigun. Why don't you? Yeah, I think that is the most. I honestly think we should put him in the MVP for that.
Give Hitman a minigun.
Yeah, and also
at that point in the movie, he might as well.
Yeah.
What is this? Abhashik.
He writes that from his mansion in Saudi Arabia. Give him a minigun.
Just because it's such an on-point observation, I would say that you can just give this guy a minigun. Yeah. He basically.
I mean, he doesn't need silencers. He's not using stealth. No. But I also love how this review, you could apply it to any movie ever made, and he'd be correct.
Well, that's true.
Well, the reason you don't want to give a guy a minigun is because the force would just rip out of his arm. You know,
okay, but we're not talking about...
pull the trigger, and his arms would tear off his socket to go flying back.
Nerd alert! So this one, when I picked it out, I was absolutely confused. It's by Carlos. And it's just, I'm still confused, but for not the same reason. Gave it a thumbs up. It's Thanos Car, Thanos Car, Thanos Car, Thanos Car. Now I was confused because I didn't know what the Thanos Car was.
Yeah.
And then I learned what a Thanos Car is. And now I'm still confused on why it's a meme.
Oh.
It's a truck.
Yeah.
That has like this grill. It's a custom-made truck. It's purple and has a grill. And looks like Thanos. All right, that's the context. But why is it? He's repeated it 4 times, and he's put it on the Hitman Agent 47 review.
And
Carlos,
this is 4 years old. This movie's 4 years old.
Yeah, this was 6 months ago.
Yeah, I feel there's got to be something happening where people are accidentally getting on. Was that on IMDb?
No, this was on the Google reviews.
I think I have a new theory here that people are accidentally accessing Google reviews when they're trying to write something else.
Maybe, but I had to. The thing is, Agent 47 is weird because I actually had to search for the Google reviews. I had to put that in my thing. Usually, if I just search for a movie, it pops up. But this one, I had to go out of my way to find it. So, how are these people finding it? I don't know. At least for this movie.
That's another good point. I just don't know what goes through people's minds. Like, why would you post this stupid? Just saying it's not even the meme. You can't post images. So
yeah,
like,
it's just saying Thanos Car 4 times.
I mean, either that or maybe he saw that maybe they have the Thanos car in the movie, just like in the background somewhere, and he was so like ecstatic that he saw it.
So what is this? A 4-year-old like kind of spoiler, I guess, or like tease?
Yeah, either they were like they planned it out that far in advance and they were just sticking like little teasers in random films, like cause there's no connection between.
The guy's this is Carlos. He's always cracking jokes and doing weird things. He's doing Carlos.
Oh yeah, especially when he was on the Magic School Bus.
Yeah,
he was always cracking.
He's always cracking jokes, and he's older now. He just gets on the internet. And he just kind of like weirds out people by just putting out random memes on bizarre review sites with no context.
Yeah, I mean either that or as we're saying that Marvel was teasing Thanos 4 years ago in random movies.
Yeah, so pro Thanos Car.
Thanos Car.
4 times. Times 4. Just put a times 4. And that's it for random reviews. That's all I have. And remember, reviews change lives.
I want to see like Thanos Car show up in the Cars films and he ka-chows and then like Mater vanishes. Lightning, I don't feel so good. That's tragic right there, Hook.
I don't want to think of. I forgot about Cars and you brought it up again.
I'm very sorry.
I purged it from my mind.
All right, well, I guess we'll go into facts and follies here. Although I guess in this case it's really going to be more just the section's just going to be facts because the follies weren't that interesting. The female character, she had like a bullet wound that kept healing in certain shots for no reason.
Video game logic.
Yeah, but I think she is like a psychic in the film, so maybe it's just part of her mutant abilities or whatever.
Well, I just mean like.
Oh yeah,
I like like Call of Duty. You get shot a couple of times and you just hide behind cover and you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
First-person shooters die when they took away health packs. That's all I'm saying.
So there is a little bit of video game logic in this.
Maybe she took her bottle of pills. Her
pills, and she grabbed a big chunk of meat and ate it.
In Hitman you can buy the pills that
that's
if
true,
you take restore your life.
I was talking about video games in general. She had a nice meal.
Oh yeah, she had a meal.
Yeah.
Or it's an anime where you just eat and you're fine.
But in facts here, I thought it was funny. It's kind of scary, but also funny. Rupert Friend accidentally hurt himself while firing a blank bullet for one scene. The hot shell bounced off the floor and hit him in the head, burning him slightly. And I thought it was interesting that this movie about an assassin almost assassinated Rupert Friend.
Wow.
And then the Wilhelm scream is in the film. We were talking about that. It's like great. So, not that you'd be really invested in this film, but you can be yanked out of it yet again by that classic joke. Okay, but here's the main thing I wanted to get into in Facts and Follies, which is just facts. In the months prior to the movie's release, 20th Century Fox and IGN Entertainment launched a social media campaign in order to find Hitman agents 1 through 46. Contest entries, which were mostly comprised of Agent 47 cosplay photos, were judged by a panel, and winners were officially given numeric designations in the Hitman canon. So, when I first read this, I still don't really understand the context. I assumed at first that they were trying to, like, maybe they needed a scene in the movie where you see the other agents maybe floating in tubes or whatever, and they needed just people to
well, no, this is like a contest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I didn't know, why are they trying to find them? Just for the sake of a contest, or
yeah, I mean that's what it seems like.
But then they were given official. They were incorporated into the canon.
Yeah. So what it was is they had pictures of them, and then they all looked the same, and so they just gave them a little number and say, "Hey, you're number 1, you're number 2," and they all look like Agent 47.
What? So they have the honor of just having a number?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the contest?
I mean, they took their pictures, but they all look like Agent 47, so there's no point.
Yeah. Okay, but I didn't know if they were going to use that in the film, or...
I also don't understand. They were given in the Hitman canon, because like it's not like your name's going to be there.
No,
it's
that's
just
what
your designation.
But then I realized this isn't for the movie at all. I think they were just trying to find a bunch of hitmen.
Oh.
This was a way to find a group of hitmen, and
so they already had it. They already had an actual Agent 47. They just needed the other, 1 through 46.
Yeah, they were going out in real life and finding a bunch of people to use as hitmen.
Oh, so this was actually a hitman recruiting.
That's
tool.
what I'm guessing.
For
because
what purpose? Is to kill movie critics who gave them bad reviews?
I don't know, because that's what there's like really no context on what you get out of the contest. And what they were going to use you for, or, because like, what's the point of you getting a number? Like, well, hey guys, cool, I'm number 1. That's a 20th Century Fox labeled me that. It didn't make any sense. But then I thought they were just literally trying to recruit at least 46 assassins to carry out their dirty work.
Well, I mean, we all know that the brand war, or what's the best way to put it, corporation war is coming. We've talked about it before.
So they're getting ready, I guess.
Then, yeah, so 20th Century Fox, 4 years ago.
Like, it's pretty bold of them to recruit cosplayers.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't even go for actual like soldiers or assassins.
Well,
they got a bunch of cosplayers.
You get the cosplayers. You say you've won. You take them, you kidnap them, and you train them and turn them into soldiers.
They just really wanted them to look like him.
Yeah, they wanted to look like Agent 47. Obviously, they gotta look the part, but that was the most important
I don't
thing.
know. Do you want them as your assassins? They get caught, they're just gonna tell you everything.
Yeah.
I'm Agent 3. I used to be a cosplayer in New York. I got kidnapped.
No, that's why you go through a rigorous and hard training. I'm sure it's been 4 years. I'm sure these guys are
ready.
Combat ready. I'm sure they've gone through several missions. I mean, think about it. You got Peter Rabbit, and then you've got at least 46 assassins on the other side. So it's kind of like
it's even.
It's pretty even, yeah.
But I just love the idea. It's like 46 guys going through buildings, trying to be stealthy, stumbling on a guard that's suspicious of them, and then like immediately botching the mission, throwing explosives.
Well,
and killing
but think
people.
about it. It's just a mob. So 46 of them, they shoot everything.
I was
Nothing's
thinking
coming
about
out alive.
I was thinking of them like separately. But
No.
they send them all to
Exactly.
It's a stealth mission with 46 people,
Yeah.
like all crammed in the hallway, crouching like crabs.
Well, have you seen those ones where...
You said yourself early in this podcast, if you want to blend in, you make a big C.
True.
So they're practically invisible.
It's just a constant crowd, basically.
Yeah.
It's like those people, like, it's a whole group of people, and they go into a convenience store, and they're all taking things.
Oh, yeah.
How can you stop that many people? Exact same concept, except with assassins, where how can you stop that many people? You just kind of have to let them do it, ultimately.
You're killing them, but it doesn't matter. They're going to get their mark regardless.
Yeah,
One
so
of them is.
And they can always find more cosplayers.
You just kind of watch them, as they shuffle it, and they shoot the target, and it's like...
And they sometimes shoot each other, because of how packed they are.
I feel like they're going to need more after like one mission.
Well, they always have 46.
It's a constant. They keep having these contests.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
It's kind of like Clonus.
So is there a pro, a con?
I don't know. Is it a con that they're kidnapping cosplayers and turning them into assassins?
I think so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you never know what you're gonna find, to be honest.
You never do, and because the first time I read through it, it just seemed really innocuous. But then I realized they didn't discuss like anything about this, or like why you would want to do that, or why you would Because they didn't say like, oh, we're going to use the photos like in the game, we're going to use your model, or in the movie, we're going to like, when we see photos of the other agents, we're going to use it. There was nothing. So my only...
Like, they didn't say, oh, you know,
You get a number.
come up with your own agent to be, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, no, so it's like, the only outcome is that they're actually trying to get agents. That was the only thing I could... Oh, and I forgot to say that at the very beginning, but I love how that the character who's actually the villain, when he's explaining like Hitman to the girl in the trailer, he's like, they're called agents. And I was like, oh, you mean like everything is? It's like, great name, guys. I mean, I know that's what he's called, but like we couldn't come up with something else.
Those people at the airport, what are they? They're TSA agents.
Yeah. What are those? They're called humans. All right, but
kind of going back to that, I think it's interesting in fantasy or in the movies or game that you know, to get their agents, you know, superhuman clones. In reality, cosplayers.
Yeah.
So, you know,
reality is often disappointing.
And I'm wondering if Mark Wahlberg was originally like supposed to be assassins, because they clone Agent 47, and it was all those Wahlberg clones. Were they originally supposed to be assassins before they realized they were better at acting?
Maybe they unionized, and so they're just too expensive, so they let them go.
Yeah, it's like, do what you want.
We'll get cosplayers, they're cheaper.
Yeah, and the longest Wahlberg kept getting caught anyways, because they saw him literally miles away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough of facts and follies.
I think that's enough of the podcast.
Yes,
ultimately.
that's enough.
So let's.
I want to hear more about the cosplay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the cosplay.
Stick tight for another hour of discussion. Let's go through the pros and cons and pro-cons. There wasn't really much this time. Cons, the Hitman is not bald. They cast a child.
An eagle-faced child.
Yes, an eagle-faced child.
I forgot we did that.
Unrealistic gun physics, because you can't kick a table and make a gun bounce and have it go off. And also, I don't think you can move fast enough to get your shackles in the way of the bullet. I don't, even if you are.
No, it would have been. It just would have been bing bing, and he just been like, "Oh, it's already over."
Yeah.
He sits awkwardly back down.
And they're apparently kidnapping cosplayers to become assassins.
Yes.
Pros. The movie's technically true to how most players play the game. You know, they cause as much chaos and destruction as possible. It is an interesting plot. It's a hair-based quest or revenge quest, and the movie is a very effective religious film because it's kind of married together action, together with like sci-fi elements and exorcism, like parts of an exorcism film. So it's got a lot going on there, and it's a God movie. It's going to get you closer to God, but entertain you too, which I feel like is what's been lacking. And
get you closer to God by shooting you in the head.
And there's a Thanos car in the film.
Oh yeah, that's
the pro apparently. And then pro cons, Rupert Friend's face will be forever burned in your mind, but he looks like an eagle. I still don't know why we put this in pro cons, but we did. So we learned about a new compliment. So if there's someone, well, that may not be a compliment, but hey, we're gonna call it a compliment. If there's someone you like, say your face looks like an eagle.
Yes,
it's a very patriotic compliment. And with that, we have to review this film.
Yes.
Can we even review this movie?
This is a very dumb premise for a podcast, I'm beginning to realize.
I thought we knew that from the beginning.
We do, but I keep getting reminded when we reach this point. But I guess
questions everything.
Yeah. Because I don't know how you get review out of these. There's nothing here. But we'll do our best, folks, because we're professionals.
We are professionals.
Let's see here. I'm just gonna go to my phone real quick.
Are you gonna find a random number generator?
Well, no, I have the a calculator and all that. So I'm just gonna put in a D100 and 34.
That's cheating.
That's joking.
So I like Thanos Car. Mm-hmm. I like the religious message. I think that's interesting, combined with the sci-fi. So I think I'll give it
Okay, he just looked away
He
from
started
us.
strong.
Yeah, and he smiled and laughed, and he just looked away from us. And
I'm gonna
okay.
give it a 71%.
71. That's very generous.
It's
Oh.
very generous. I think it deserves it. I don't know. I don't remember why it deserves it. I think I lost my mind, to be honest.
Hey, it's insane, like this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of going through everything here, trying to balance it and, come up with a fair, even review. But you know what? I think I'm just going to give it a score that's the same as Hitman's age, 12.
12?
Yeah. He's 12 years old, and I'll give the film a 12, because I think that's pretty accurate.
I realized that the obvious review score is 47.
Oh!
I give it a 47.
Wait.
47's mine.
We could have all just given it 47. We go home.
Okay. Wait, do we want to? I don't know which is funnier, us bringing this up in the review, or do we want to?
I give it a 47.
I give it a 47.
I also give it a 47.
It's a 47 all the way. Wait, we can still edit it.
Episode 20.
We can still say this. They don't know. We can edit it.
So it got a 47%. Imagine that, folks.
Oh, you know that really obvious good joke? Completely missed it until right now.
I was distracted by Thanos' truck.
Thanos Car.
Thanos' car.
I mean, it is a truck, technically.
He snapped his tires and my brain cells died. Half of them.
Well, that's all mine, God.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I already gave this away, but the critics gave Agent 47 a 9%.
They missed the joke, too! We aren't the only ones, at least.
Well, they can't control the Rotten Tomatoes.
They could have tried. They all could collaborate like they do with all the other movies.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes could have grabbed as much as possible to give it a 47%. But and then the audience gave it a 40%. So they were
very
closer
close
to the joke.
So
Yes.
they do go into the MVP.
And also, people, I'm not saying this, but you shouldn't go to the Rotten Tomato and try your hardest to give it,
47.
yeah, 47%.
We're not saying that, but we are strongly implying it. Okay. We're done, I think.
Yeah, we're done.
I noticed that wasn't really a lot about Agent 47 movie at all.
Well, that was a little bit at the beginning. That's
Yeah.
what I've realized this podcast has become. It's just...
We're like every other podcast that has a main plot,
Yeah.
or like has a thing. We never stay on focus. It's just how it is. We're a bunch of amateur podcast people.
Well,
so.
I blame the movie for being so uninteresting. There's not a lot
But
of
we
talk
haven't
about.
seen it. That's why there's no content. 'Cause the very premise of the podcast makes it impossible to talk about movies.
Yeah, but I know there's just some movies that we just, we
Yeah.
get into like these in-depth discussions about, and then there's just other movies like we talk about for 10 minutes, and we go off on this other random thing,
Yeah.
because the movie itself is just so uninteresting.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh well.
let's just give ourselves.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Okay, so MVPs, Abhishek for
Minigun.
Minigun, and the audience won because they got closer to our score.
A 47.
They got closer to the joke in general. So yeah, this has been Stupid Podcast,
Billy.
also known as Much Review About Nothing. If you want to get in touch with us, and I don't know why you would, we're muchreviewAN@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Twitter @muchreviewAN, and you can follow me, Billy Greer, @BD_gruesome, and we have a Patreon.
Yeah, so if you're also stupid like this podcast, you can donate. Yay.
That's good. Let's insult the people that potentially would give us money.
Oh, we
Listen-
insulted ourselves first.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, you little pay piggies, you're gonna get to our Patreon. You're gonna give us $100 a month.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Bye.
We didn't even say who we are.
Oh, we've been your...
I've been your host, Billy Greer.
And we've been Jake Greer and...
Luke Greer.
I'm also Agent 45. Oh, Christ, screwed up. I'm Agent 44.
I'm Agent 45?
I'm Agent 46.
Yes. Brilliant.